Hey, this is Insetic and Blank Tester back with Splashdown, the next 4 races.
Yeah! Splashdown!
And I'm picking the character that I beat at the stadium last time because I really think this is the best guy. He's got like full acceleration, and differences in top speed really don't seem to
make much of a difference.
Really don't seem to show themselves. I don't think there are enough long
straightaways
for a top speed of 2 and a top speed of 5 to really go head to head. Finally figured out that you could skip the qualifying laps. I actually didn't notice that until I recorded, so I'm just going to start each video in 5th place, but that doesn't matter.
No, I thought you mentioned in the previous recording you said that you could skip it.
Yeah, I discovered that while recording.
Oh, I thought you meant you discovered it while recording this one. I didn't get that. Okay. Yeah. I think that's an interesting idea, though. I still think that's a good idea, like for a racing game, or other. I don't know what other kinds of games could use that. Somebody asked about the combo kind of meter thing. You want to explain that in words or vocally as opposed to in text form?
Yeah, I still have a couple things to explain about Splashdown. So the meter on the bottom right is sort of like not really a boost meter because you don't have boost in this game, but the higher up that bar is, the faster you go in general. And if you fill it all the way up to the green section at the top, you reach like top speed. And I can definitely notice, like, if I hold back on the throttle when I have no meter and when I hold back when I have it all the way up to green, I definitely go much faster when I'm at green. Up to like 95 miles an hour rather than like 70.
Okay, that is a pretty significant difference.
And I think just in general...
Holy shit!
Yeah,
that was beautiful!
Also, if you fall off, the reset timer doesn't start until you hit the water again. So that's why it took like 4 seconds to reset there, whereas whenever I fall off, otherwise it takes only like a second or so. Or you can just hit the select button again, but it's one of those games where it like fades out to black and takes a while rather than just resetting you.
So that would be like if you were falling off a cliff, that probably wouldn't even appear in this game, but like if you were to fall off a cliff and you were falling for a long time, instead of waiting for it to catch up to you, instead you just hit select.
Yeah. Another thing, one last thing, I think is the last thing, I mentioned the tricking system last time and how kind of unintuitive some of the tricks are. So if you see me go off a big jump and then not do a trick at all, or wait to do a trick until like the last second, it's probably because I was trying to do a harder trick and then I messed it up. Because I don't know, I seem to have a problem with spinning the stick around, like the analog stick. When it says start at the left, I usually end up much more toward the top or the bottom than at the left, and that's not going to count.
Yeah, I have that same problem when I'm playing other games, and like I'll be navigating through menus. I prefer to use the D-pad for menus and stuff because I have a habit of like I'll sit kind of diagonal to the TV, like not straight forward, and when I do that, I automatically kind of push in the direction that it would be if the controller was perfectly facing it. So it, whoa, big error. I have that problem too, so I guess you can't really do that in this game because you have to use the thumbstick, so...
Yeah, you really can't rotate the D-pad around, but that's the best way for actually starting, either at the left or right or top or bottom. So, that part of that could just be me.
I don't think it's... I think it's probably a common-ish problem. I'm sure other people probably have that issue. It's not like you alone. Like, I know I do. I have that problem, but I'm sure other viewers probably have that problem. See, when you're looking at these maps, which I like it when games do this, they show you the map of the place. You see a lot of straightaways, but when you're actually... Dice. When you're actually playing, I don't see a whole lot of those straightaways. I mean, maybe I'm just not noticing them, but they don't seem straight all that much. Well, it could be because you're going around those things. Wow.
Well, actually, this level, Rhine River, does have a pretty good straightaway. You'll notice kind of where the track loops on itself at the left side, and one of those places is pretty straight. And well, actually, that is like a big jump. Like that whole thing, or not that whole thing, but usually when you see a big straightaway, it's because there's like a large jump, and usually jumps don't curve around on you because you can't really turn in the air.
Right. Okay, I can see that. Yeah, I can see that being the case.
But this straightaway is actually fairly long, and so yeah, you could see top speed I moved up to like 82 rather than 70 as before.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the purple bar, right? That you were talking about?
Right.
So what about that yellow bar? What is that? Is that just miles per hour? Like it seems to be going up and down with your speed.
Yeah, I think that's just how fast you're going. You don't have to worry about stalling out the jet ski, though. Thankfully, they didn't put that in this game.
Wait, they didn't?
Like, warning, you are overheating.
Oh,
you know, thankfully they didn't put something like that in here.
Yeah, that I think is kind of stupid. But what about sometimes when you're holding a trick or stuff like that? I don't know if you explained this in the last video. I can't remember. The circular thing, the like timer looking thing. I forgot how that worked. Yeah, that right there.
If you hold a trick, you get more bar towards your bar. We've got to give that bar a name. Your top speed bar.
Purple rank.
That purple bar. When you hold a trick, you get more towards the purple bar. If you do a basic trick and hold it till like 2x or such, you'll get more than if you just kept it at 1x. All your tricks, the first time you do a trick, it starts at 1 times multiplier, and if you hold it, it moves up to 2 times, then, or does it move up to 1.5 times?
It moves to 1.5.
Oh, well, it moves up to 1.5 and then 2, but the second time you do a trick, and any time after, it starts at 0.5, and you have to hold it, and it goes all the way through up to 1 time. But also, the bigger the trick you do, like the more complicated trick you do, like the ones on tiers 2 and 3 that require random button mashing, pretty much gives you more points.
Oh, it goes straight to 2.
Oh, okay. Well, doing a tougher trick gives you more towards the bar than doing a basic trick. So doing a tougher trick at 1x, 1 times multiplier probably, well, it definitely gives you more than a basic trick at 1x, but maybe gives you more than a basic trick at 2x. Or maybe it gives you the same. I don't know. Maybe it gives you less. I don't exactly know. The bar doesn't
have a number.
The bar exactly doesn't have easy places to tell when you filled up like a 10th of it.
Right.
Or
it
a fifth.
It seems kind of like something that you would have to kind of watch while you play, but even then you're kind of watching the game as opposed to watching that bar.
Yeah, it's not like the bar in JetX2O where you can clearly see all the blocks you fill up, and then you have like 15 blocks, and you can tell when you fill 1 up, or fill 2 up, or fill 5 up, and how close you are to the top then.
Honestly, like JetX2O, I see that as more of a game that's built around the console experience, but this game kind of strikes me as one of those games that you would see in an arcade, you know? That, like, you know, you'd sit down on that, like, with the fake handlebars and the seat and all that, and you would play it like that. I think I can see this game with those kinds of design elements more than, you know, JetX2O, or more than the elements that make JetX2O more of a sitting at home playing this game with a controller sort of feel.
But how does differing between being at the arcade and being at home differ between, like, being more clear about how much of the bar you filled up?
Oh, no, it's not about the bar thing. I was just thinking that separate thought, you know. I was thinking, because the arcade sort of, not an arcadey game, but I mean like literally a game that's built for an arcade is going to be a little bit less complicated, because they don't expect you to sit there and play it for hours and hours, because you're at an arcade as opposed to at home. You know, so this game looks like it's sort of easy to pick up, but if you know the game really well, you can do a lot better, you know?
Yep. Also, I actually thought of another small thing, so while we're still just pointing out everything in the game, on your mini-map, the finish line, which is a, like, yellow triangle, I keep thinking that's where the player is. Like, I keep thinking, if I'm not really focused, I keep thinking that's where the player is, and then it doesn't move down the track, and I'm like, what? And then I'm like, oh, I'm the green dot. Maybe they should have put like a black and white finish line on the minimap instead.
I honestly thought, yeah, that's what I thought. I thought the yellow arrow was you because I wasn't like following it. I was just looking at it occasionally. But I think it would have been better if the yellow arrow had been you and then like a black and white check box or triangle or something had been where the end of the level was. I think that would have been more indicative. But I mean, that's a small thing, really.
It hasn't really gotten me to mess up too many times, so I won't get in that big of a deal over it. I haven't tried hard mode yet. Apparently, from what I've been told, the tracks change a little on hard mode. I still need to go try those because I just picked normal mode because I wasn't planning on staying in this game for too long, you know, recording most of it in a day or two and then commenting on it, talking about it. But if they do change on hard mode, I'd like to show some of that off, or at least like some of the bigger changes, because again, I don't want to do all 20 tracks. This normal mode run through is already like 1 or 2 hours long. So it's the 8th track, and it's time to choose, it's time for another stadium race. I want you to note that one character, Sebastian, beat the other character in every stat. Like, they had the same stats except for the bottom stat, where Sebastian had 5 and the other character had 4.
Huh.
And there's actually 2 characters like that. In the first video, I pointed out one where one character had the same stats as the other, except had 1 block worse in something. I think it was handling.
Yeah, I think that was what it was. That's weird.
So 2 of the characters in this game are just worse than 2 of the other characters. And I guess with only 4 stats to fix and only 5 blocks on that, it's tough to really divvy the stats around so that each character is unique. But I think you should try not to have something like that where there'd be no reason to pick a character, because I don't really see anything that they're better at. I mean, maybe there's some hidden thing, not like hidden stat, but maybe there's just...
Yeah, it could be something like maybe I guess all the hard tricks are equal. Like, they're all the same among the characters. I was still in Jet X Duo mindset. But maybe it's something like, you know, when you're looking at those stats, it says 3 out of 5, but really it means 3.2 out of 5 versus 3.1 out of 5, or, you know, something like that, and they just can't show the level of detail that would really indicate the differences. But I don't know why they wouldn't use a bigger number than 5.
Yeah, if they were going to have differences like that, I think they'd want to move up to like a 10-point scale or a bigger scale to show that.
Yeah.
Also, I kind of wish that Splashdown had a map maker, almost, because it seems like these arena levels were put together, like, well, they're all put together with a common palette and common pieces, and, you know, if they had a map maker, even if it was just in the arena, that'd be cool.
I mean, I think somebody said something about that. Like, that would have, like, about the Motocross Madness.
Yeah, this whole conversation showed up in the original Something Awful thread, but for the rest of YouTube,
oh, right.
This game poses a lot of similarities to a game called Excite Bike 64, like with all the characters being bright colors, or at least one character being green, one being yellow, one being red, blue, purple, and like solid green, red, purple. and that's how you tell them apart on the track. Excite Bike 64 had something like that, where on the track one character would be each color. And it also had a track editor, because that game had a ton of tracks that took place in a common arena mode. I think like, there were maybe 9 or 10 tracks in the game that were just at different locations around the world, which really just meant different layouts in the arena.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, the way they made these levels, they look like they're made of like Lego pieces. Like, I don't remember who said it, but somebody said on the forum, somebody said that it looks like these levels are made of pieces that they just kind of put together to form the track layout, and it would have been nice to see kind of one of those in this game. That is a really weird place for them to... Oh wait, that was where Sebastian was. You know, it would have been nice to see something like that, or maybe you know, like a roller coaster tycoon style track builder or something. That way you don't have to, like, you know, I mean, it works in a Tony Hawk game where you can build your own park thing because you don't have to make all the pieces have a continuous flow to them, but it would make more sense to have like a roller coaster tycoon style one where you have to follow from one piece to the next. But I don't know, maybe that's just me.
Watercraft Arena Tycoon. Jet ski racing head coach.
Actually,
you don't do any of the races, you just like recruit people on the team and then hope they do well.
Actually, if my ex-roommate, he has on his tablet a game called Fish Tycoon, which his girlfriend makes him play.
Makes him play?
Yeah, well, that's what he says. Makes him play. He's a real prick.
All right, make sure to join the two of us for the next 4 tracks in Splashdown. Again, 3 regular ones with an arena at the end.
And also check out JetX2O LP. Woo!
Both these going on at the same time. And I'll see you guys either in the next JetX2O or in the next Splashdown. Bye.